Hi, I am Hans Wilhelm. How do we know if we are truly growing spiritually? How can we measure our spiritual progress? In this video, I will give you a simple example where you can consider for yourself of how you would have reacted in these situations.
Imagine a person who has never believed in any spiritual principles. Like the vast majority, he is focused on material achievements and lives accordingly, striving for worldly success and maintaining a fast-paced lifestyle with little rest or self-reflection. One evening, after a long, exhausting day, he joins friends for dinner. One of the guests has a nasty cold and sneezes throughout the meal. Soon after, our guy here falls ill and ends up bedridden for 2 weeks. Every day, he curses the guest for ruining his health and wasting his time. Lying in bed, he also wallows in self-pity. When he finally returns to work, his boss is frustrated by his absence as he was needed during a critical period. They argue, which only fuels his anger. Now he blames his boss for being insensitive to his situation. That evening, stewing in frustration, he leaves the office. As he reverses his car, he accidentally crashes into a tree, damaging the bumper. Now he is even more furious. This cycle could continue, with every incident adding to his frustration as he blames everyone and everything around him. But this example should suffice. Most people would have reacted similarly, viewing themselves as victims of circumstances and others. Now, let's explore how someone with some spiritual perspective might approach these identical challenges. First, they might remember that there are no true accidents in life, and thus no real victims. Nothing happens to us, rather everything happens for us. Every difficulty or challenge appears in our lives to help us grow and to resolve or soften the karmic burdens we encounter moment by moment. In my video, Your Life is on Rewind, we explore how our experiences, our sensing, feeling, thinking, speaking and acting are stored among other places in the stars, the cosmic computer. Over time, these actions return to us as karma, becoming the daily challenges we face. We are ultimately the originators of these experiences. Moreover, before we were born, during our pre-life review, we glimpsed significant challenges we would encounter in this life and agreed to face them. No one is here on earth against their own free will. Gabriele writes, "Each day is a gift, no matter what it brings us. It merely brings us back to ourselves. This is not always pleasant. Our faults and weaknesses often get us into difficulties. This is how the learning tasks in the school of life called Earth show themselves. They are impulses for rethinking, for change." With this understanding in mind, let's see how someone more enlightened might experience the same day. Chances are he wouldn't arrive exhausted at his friend's dinner party, as his main goal is the spiritual growth of his soul. His focus leads him to prioritize regular inner reflection and meditation, which naturally keeps his energy in a higher vibration. When he joins the dinner, his energy is less likely to align with a guest who is unwell. In this state, his higher frequency may make him less susceptible to illness, as viruses or bacteria tend to operate on lower frequencies. However, let's say that for karmic reasons, he does fall ill and has to rest. Rather than blaming others, he would reflect inwardly to see how he may have unknowingly invited this experience. He would ask himself if he had been feeling, thinking, speaking, or acting in ways contrary to love, peace, or harmony. Does he need to forgive or make amends? Recognizing that true healing comes from within, he would call on the Christ light, the source of healing energy, to restore his soul and body. By using this time to surrender and allow healing, he may find himself well again in a few days rather than 2 weeks. Upon returning to work, his unsympathetic boss scolds him for being absent during a busy period. Rather than reacting emotionally, he takes a moment to reflect. His spiritual understanding reminds him that the external world mirrors his internal state. He might ask himself, what is my boss reflecting back to me? Have I been unsympathetic, bossy, or overbearing with others or even with myself? If so, how can I correct or transform these behaviors? With a perspective focused on spiritual growth, he may even see his boss as a teacher, helping him uncover his own shortcomings. He may even feel a sense of gratitude because his boss gives him the opportunity to pay any old karmic debt, which would not be possible without this situation arising. He might even recall Eckhart Tolle's words, "Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you have chosen it. Always work with it, not against it. This will miraculously transform your whole life." This reflection helps him to respond calmly, viewing the situation as an opportunity for soul growth. Later, as he leaves work and drives home, his mind is at ease, allowing him to drive with focus and potentially avoid an accident altogether, or at least minimize any misshape. Do we see now the difference between these two people? One sees himself as a passive victim and blames others, which makes his life worse. Whereas this one sees opportunities for spiritual growth, takes charge and becomes victorious over the challenges he encounters. It is always a question of our free will. Are we willing to do some self-investigation and question every situation and find the positive in it? Are we using our free will to become free and happy again, or keep blaming others?
To stay firmly on the spiritual path, I am personally finding great support in the daily spiritual inspirations that Gabriele has given us in this wonderful book called God Wants the Best for You. For 365 days of the year, we can find here powerful quotes, good advice, assurance and courage for making the best out of all things. This little book has helped me a lot to stay focused on my path. A link to this book is beneath this video, and don't forget to subscribe, and then I will see you in my next video.